get a promotion. For about 6 minutes, you feel incredible, then you check your phone. A friend from college just bought a house. Someone you barely know just ran a marathon. And suddenly, the promotion, the thing that felt like a triumph 5 minutes ago, feels small. Almost embarrassing to be proud of. Nothing about your accomplishment changed, only the view did. This is one of the strangest features of the human mind. You don't actually feel good or bad based on how well your life is going. You feel good or bad based on how your life compares to the people around you. And the unsettling part is, you rarely get to choose who those people are. Psychologist Leon Festinger first described this back in 1954 in something he called social comparison theory. His core claim was simple, almost uncomfortably so. Humans don't have an internal ruler for measuring their own worth. In the absence of an objective standard, like a stock price or a thermometer reading, we default to comparing ourselves to others just to figure out where we stand. In other words, you don't know if you're doing well. You only know if you're doing well compared to someone. That single sentence should bother you a little. It means your sense of self-worth was never fully yours to begin with. It's borrowed, constantly, from whoever happens to be standing nearest to you. So why would evolution build a mind this insecure? Here's where it gets interesting. In small ancestral groups, comparison wasn't vanity. It was information. Who's the strongest hunter? Who has the most reliable allies? Who's rising in status and who's falling? That information mattered because your position in the group determined your access to food, protection, and mates. Constant comparison wasn't a flaw. Anthropological research on small-scale societies suggests it functioned as a kind of social GPS, telling you exactly where you stood, moment to moment, in a hierarchy you couldn't afford to misjudge. The problem isn't that this system exists. The problem is who it's now comparing you to. Here's the part that should genuinely catch you off guard. Your ancestors compared themselves to maybe 50 people, all local, all real, all limited by the same conditions you faced. You compare yourself to the most curated, filtered, algorithmically selected highlight reel of several billion people, updated every few seconds. Social media doesn't just give you more people to compare yourself to. Research led by psychologist Jerry Soules and later expanded by scholars studying online behavior suggests something sharper. Platforms are structurally biased toward upward comparison, meaning you are far more likely to see people who appear to be doing better than you, than people who are struggling in ways you'll never see. Not because life actually looks that way, because content that looks like winning gets shared, and content that looks like losing gets hidden. You are not comparing yourself to reality. You are comparing yourself to reality's highlight reel and losing, every single day, to a contest nobody could actually win. Sit with that for a second. The scoreboard was rigged before you ever walked up to it. Now, here's a twist that most people never consider, and it flips the whole story on its head. Social comparison isn't purely destructive. Research distinguishes between two very different directions it can take. Downward comparison, looking at people worse off than you, tends to boost mood and self-esteem in the short term. Upward comparison, looking at people who seem to be doing better, can either motivate you to improve or quietly corrode your sense of self-worth, depending almost entirely on how the comparison is framed in your own mind. Same mental mechanism. Two completely opposite outcomes. The difference isn't the comparison itself, it's the story you silently attach to it. Comparison isn't the enemy. The direction you're forced to look in, and how often you're forced to look, is what's doing the damage. Here's a question worth sitting with. If your ancestors' comparison system was calibrated for 50 visible people, and you're now feeding it several billion invisible ones, whose fault is it really when you feel like you're falling behind? It might not be a personal failure at all. It might be a wildly outdated tool, doing exactly what it was built to do, just aimed at a target 1,000 times larger than anything it was designed to process. Psychologist Sonia Lubomirsky's research on happiness adds one more twist worth knowing. She found that people who compare themselves to others frequently report lower life satisfaction overall, regardless of how objectively well their lives are actually going. It's not your circumstances working against you. It's the habit of measuring them against a constantly shifting, largely invisible crowd, which means the 6 minutes you spent feeling proud of that promotion. Those 6 minutes were the truth. Everything after that, the moment your phone reminded you of someone else's house, someone else's marathon, was noise dressed up as information. So, what do you actually do with a mind that's built to compare? You can't turn the mechanism off. It's too old, too wired in, too useful in the right context to simply disable, but you can change what you feed it. Every time you catch yourself mid-comparison, you can ask one small, oddly powerful question. Am I comparing myself to a real person's whole life or to a highlight reel with the losing moments edited out? That question alone won't fix everything. But it will remind you of something your ancestors always knew instinctively, and something the algorithm desperately needs you to forget. You were never actually behind. You were only ever standing next to someone else's edited footage, mistaking it for the whole movie.